Hey friends, Ari Koinuma here. Thanks for tuning in. For Deep Thoughts Thursday today, I thought I'll share my thought on how some music makes us cry. Now, I think a lot of us have experience of crying listening to music, or music triggering the crying reaction to it. And it's, of course, we think because it's sad music, or if the music is good or whatever, but there is more to that in my opinion. So let me just share my thoughts on this. So crying is a result of you experiencing more emotions than you can sort of handle or you can express in other means. So typically it happens if you have like deep sorrow or rage, anger, shame, grief, those kind of hard feelings. But you also know that people can cry out of joy or happiness. This is my personal theory here, but I think crying happens when you're experiencing emotions more so than you feel kind of comfortable feeling it, and the body's way of allowing that feeling to sort of come out or be processed in your body is to cry it out. And emotions are like muscles in that if you're not used to feeling it, you don't get very good at feeling it. So if you're not used to being sad or angry, you can cry because there's a lot of that feeling. Same thing can happen if you're not used to being happy or joyful, and then if you get too much joy and then you start crying also, right? So what happens when certain life triggers happens and then you get these feelings generated in reaction to those events is that if you are in a place where you feel comfortable fully experiencing and expressing that feeling, you obviously feel the feeling, and then if it's too much to just feel inside of or to express it through other means, then you end up crying. If for whatever reasons you don't feel comfortable doing that, whether it's you're just not in a situation where you feel comfortable expressing yourself that way, or whether the feelings generated is too much and too big to really even like sort of embody itself in a single setting, then what we do is we store that feeling inside our bodies. And I myself tend to store a lot of feelings in this area, not in my heart, but I can feel it in my chest, left chest a lot. And if you get sort of practice at doing this, you can kind of tell, where in your body you were storing that feeling, which is a really odd thing to think about, but it's certainly true in my experience. Anyway, so when you have too much feelings generated and you can't really sort of process it, then you store it, and then that stored feeling stay inside your body. And the thing is, it doesn't ever go away without actually you going through it. So we are all carrying these stuck feelings inside our bodies, and the feelings stuck inside your body, after a long time or after being stored and festering for a long time, it can turn into this more devastating things like illnesses and such. Anyway, they're always looking for opportunities to come out. So when a particular piece of music sort of aligns and hit you, and of course you have to be paying attention to the music, right? It has to catch your attention, and it strikes you with a composition or a song that contains the feeling that resonates with the feeling you're carrying inside. And of course the performer adds a layer of expression on top of that, which kind of expand upon what the song might contain. And again, it's if it's compatible with the feeling that you're carrying inside, that triggers or sort of digs up the feeling that you had in you, and that results in crying. So it can happen, like I said in the beginning, both with hard feelings like sad songs, angry songs, those kind of things, or it can happen with joyful, happy feelings, depending on the person. And it totally depends also on what you're carrying inside. So obviously, some songs trigger some people to cry, but it might not make you cry, right? The difference is that, we each are carrying sort of a different shades or different variety of these feelings, and how that connects to our sensibilities and a particular sort of nuance of that feeling, or maybe it's a particular language, particular way of saying it, particular chord or harmony or rhythm, note, the timbre of the voice. It's just myriads of different things kind of combined and all converge together in an experience where it just like digs out feelings out of you, and then you end up crying listening to the song. So the point is that the music has to contain the feeling, but you as the listener are also contributing to the experience by, bringing forth that feeling that you were carrying all along. So this is the reason why I really believe that sad songs are better for your soul. I have nothing against happy songs and funny songs and fun songs, but when sad songs or angry songs or any other songs that contain or express feelings that is less acceptable to really for you to express in your day-to-day interactions, for good reason. I'm not saying that everybody should be just walking around expressing everything that they feel. That can be quite overwhelming, to be frank. But a healthy and whole person is somebody who feels comfortable sort of expressing any and all emotions. And music is a helper for us to create a safe place and acceptable channel in which you can connect to and you can embody these feelings that really have a hard time finding other places to go to sort of find their outlet. So I'm a big believer in sad and angry songs, and I listen to such songs and I admire them. It just in the moment you might think that these are undesirable feelings and you don't ever want to feel them, but actually if you discard judgment of these as undesirable feelings, and if you just get comfortable is a funny word, but so if you can accept the fact that we feel these feelings, and if it's okay for you to feel these feelings, and that there is a song that can help you channel these feelings, then it sort of takes the sting out of the experience of feeling those feelings. And then once you are able to do that, what can happen afterwards, that you feel kind of cleansed and uplifted, and your mind feels cleared, and depending on how deep and sort of strong that feeling is, it can really have almost a transformative experience. And I really believe in that power of music to help us channel the emotions that really have a hard time going elsewhere, and it tends to get bottled up and stuck inside. And obviously I'm not making music with the purpose of like it being a tool or service of some sort. I am making music because I need to make music and I need to channel those feelings myself. But I think it's a beautiful thing when a piece of art that we artists create out of our own sheer necessity ends up becoming something that is of value, that creates a really desirable and valuable human experience for other people who partake in that experience of art. If you're watching this video, I assume that you have experience of crying listening to music, and I'd love to hear from you in terms of, you know, what song was it and what kind of feelings did it sort of conjure from you, and you know, how did you feel about the experience afterwards. I know this is kind of a personal vulnerable thing, but as a person who's very interested in the role that music plays in this way, I would love to hear your experience in terms of when music made you cry. So if you could share that with me in the comment, I would really greatly appreciate that. Okay? Alright, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.